of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I sent out an agenda. Of course, this was last week before and I want to just tell you guys thanks for your flexibility and being able to meet today. That really helps. Two other people already had prior commitments. The one thing, under new business A, there's a homeowner requesting a fence variance. I'm going to table that, or at least I'll just put it on next month's agenda or the next meeting's agenda. And then if we have time, we'll go through some of this miscellaneous business things, and if not, we may benefit from more committee members being here. So I request approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Second. I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. And approve of the prior minutes, the minutes of the prior meeting, I sent those out. Anybody had any issues with the work corrections? Hearing none, that's great. Unfinished business. I don't know that we have any unfinished business other than Haley and I have been working.
If you made the motion on the minutes, approval of the minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. And Danny seconded that.
I'll second it, I can't vote. I wasn't here.
Oh, wow. So under unfinished business, the other thing we have is the spreadsheet, but again, I've been working with Haley and we're trying to clean up the spreadsheet and close out as many of those prior projects as we can. And we'll continue, we're not going to move any of those projects into the electronic format, but going forward, everything will be in the electronic format. That's what we've been doing for a while now. So let's jump into Atlantica. You'll see the first one is Scott Seabow. That's only on the, it's on there. They did just receive county approval, but they haven't gotten me a copy of it. But as soon as they do, I'll remove it. Okay. The next one is Samuel Flanagan. Is Mr. Flanagan here by chance?
Is that the high side or is it a burner?
I think that's just as good as it gets, probably. Okay.
I have to walk back. So we have 2 pages up there now.
This is the what?
I'm looking for 2 pages. It's only coming up with my 1 page right here. I don't know why.
2 pages. Oh no, you don't.
There we go. No, see, it's only picking up 1 page of 1.
Well, you'll have to go up to where it says My Items Only.
Oh,
you can undo that box.
Right.
Go
here.
ahead and do that.
That's it.
Yeah.
There
But you don't need to because all of those others.
So this is where we're at. Which one do you want to go to the Samuel Flanagan?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what we got right here. Okay.
Now, I'm going to point out one thing that it says, if you look on the note, well, before you get there, can you go back, please? Just X out of on the top.
Okay. All right.
Go down to where it says on 12/18, the follow-up date for this item has been met and the hold has been removed. You'll see that time and time again. That's their default, their system. It's like a reminder every week. And I'm working with Tara to have that removed, so pay no attention to that whatsoever. You'll see it. And I finally talked to Tara and I said, Tara, we've got to get this out of here.
Yeah.
So
Well, I saw it several times a day.
you see it every time. So they're going to remove it or at least change the default from a week to, it's set to come up every week.
Okay.
And so we'll do that. Now you can go to the big clip and you can see that
Well, here,
Flanagan.
we'll just kind of blow this
This-
thing up here. So this is
This
their request right here.
for a deck replacement and extension.
Yes, and this is a deck replacement. And I had one question on this was, and I don't know if this makes any difference, but, you know, they want to come off the deck. If you look at this, they want to come off the deck on the back side of this drawing. So you can see, you know, here's the house. You know, the deck is coming off the back side of the house right here, and they're going to come out another 26 feet. And I was wondering if they have to own both those lots to be able to do that, because if I had my little pointer,
Well, no,
so isn't that deck coming out like
no, I think
in this
this,
direction?
the way I looked at that was the deck is going to be 26 feet wide. Or whatever that dimension,
Okay.
across the back of the house.
Okay, well,
But it's going to be 16 feet from the back of the house here.
well, see, like here's the existing deck right here, and this is the new addition.
But the total is going to be 16 feet. This
It's gonna
direction-
be, yeah, they're, okay.
This
16.
direction is 26 feet.
Okay, all right. So they're not gonna be encroaching on, you know, if they come in this direction right here, you know, they're gonna be, is that getting into this common ground?
That's a side,
and put
that's a side of the house,
setback?
isn't it?
Well, see, that's what I didn't, because if you look at the house, here's the house on this one, they gotta show steps on that side, steps on this side. This is where, so here's steps on this side, here's steps on this side, so I'm assuming that they're coming out in that direction. Now, am I reading that wrong? That's where I had my problem with it, you know, and I didn't understand when I was looking at it myself. So then I looked at it, and you can see that, you know, so it seems that this is, well, see, now, I don't even see stairs on this particular picture, where they're saying that they had stairs. You know, so I was really confused with this particular one.
Isn't this the back of the house here? Here's the front, facing
Well, this is the
Ventry.
Oh, okay, all right. So then that's what they're doing, they're coming along the side of the house? They're gonna come along the side of the house
Oh, that's
and
it.
then,
Yeah,
come back this way?
yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm with you, but, it's just, I didn't understand what this picture was all about. Or that's an example of the type of railing that they want to get. Is that what that
I
is?
think that's their existing deck, and they're going to add on to the back of it. That's why, nobody here from the Flanagan.
They're gonna increase the size of the deck then?
See, like you're saying, you're saying this is Bentry right here. And they're gonna be adding on to the backside of but there's no structure even there that they say that they're gonna be adding on
Yeah,
to.
it doesn't look like it.
So that's where I was really confused, Ken, because it just didn't jive, you know, and I had a lot of questions about it, because apparently they own both lots. So I was thinking, you know, when I first looked at it, wrongly, you know, I thought, well, because looking at their drawing that they had, this, I saw steps coming here, and then the deck coming out this way. And then I'm looking at this one, I see steps coming here, so I was assuming that they were coming out in this direction. I looked at it very briefly this afternoon, I will say.
See, I thought that was a walkway.
I don't know.
Well, I think, I tried to contact this person, looked at both the numbers that are on there. I did speak to the builder, or the gentleman's building the deck, but he didn't have much information for me. I think we need more information.
I don't know.
I'm not signing a blank check, so let's,
I can't see, you know, because nothing, it just doesn't jive right now. And they're saying that they're just replacing?
no, he said Replacing with an extension.
Yeah, replacing with an extension. Well, you know, I'm just looking at it and saying, well, what is he replacing? Is he replacing this little section right here? You know, but see, he doesn't even have a drawing of the deck on there at that particular time. You know, because, I mean, they're showing that I mean, I don't know.
I'll try to get a hold of.
See, and I don't know-
I'll contact the,
See, and I don't know, Kent, like I said, if this is, if they're showing these pictures right here, if that's their existing deck, or if this was just a railing that they were gonna use, because didn't they say that in,
see, I thought they were gonna take that railing off and add to it, but maybe, yeah. I'll see if I can't get a hold of them and have them here in 3 weeks.
So motion to table.
so, we motion to table this one, yeah.
So motion to table.
I'll second that.
Who made the motion? Me.
I will.
Okay.
You, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Greg Scott.
Now, Mr. Scott's here, and this has been a,
Ongoing project.
this is an ongoing, we've had several discussions with Mr. Scott about this. Mr. Scott,
He built a home, then
Yeah, go ahead.
extended his boat slip, and now is putting a boat cover over the boat slip. In the process, found that his existing boat slip has some rotten wood, and it needed replacement too. He did not have a permit to do that, but I don't think he realized that he was gonna have to replace all that wood until it got in there. And so, I mean, he's making it safer and certainly improving the appearance of it by doing so. However, there are some other things that we need to look at as well.
okay, here we go. I had one way down here at the bottom. Okay. So, yes, as Kent was saying, this was remodeling an existing boathouse. Well, the previous boathouse that was put up before some of our restrictions were put in place. So the boathouse that was put up was actually 50 by 20. Our restrictions are 40 by 30. So it was already 10 feet too long. Well, then in doing so, the boat slip, we approved the boat slip being dug out a little
Boats
bit.
of extension.
The boat,
6 feet,
the-
I think 6 feet. 6 feet.
by 6 feet, so that the entire pontoon could fit in. Boat slip wasn't deep enough because it was only 20 feet, so they wanted to make it 24 feet deep so that they could park their boat completely in it. Well, Mr. Scott is, so now he's got these piers poured at 50 feet, you know, because that's where the existing boat house was. But we took, was that brick, were there brick columns that were going up all the way? Or it was 6 by 6s or 4 by 4s?
6 by 6s.
They were 6 by 6s,
They're
but
all rotten at the base.
anyway, so, go ahead.
They were rotten at the very
Oh, yes,
base
they were rough.
from the rain, water.
So let me see if I can find another picture here.
I got pictures of the boathouse, the old one.
I think there's a better picture.
Yeah, there's a bit.
Keep going. Keep going. Right there.
So right here is basically what we're talking about here, which is, my wife taught me how to turn the picture today.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's how it orients to the road if the road is at the bottom. Or the house is at the bottom.
Yeah, the house is
The
down
lake
here
is
at the
out.
bottom. The house, the lake is up at the upper end of this section right here. This is where the boat slip got dug
So
out.
the
Is this
the existing boat cover,
the exist? Please go ahead and explain.
I call it a cover, not a house. It was here, and the boat slip went to here. He got a permit and dug this out another 6 feet so it could have enough room to put a larger boat in, a 24-foot or 22 or 24-foot pontoon, and then realized that he needed to put a boat cover over this. In the process of doing that, found quite a bit of rotted materials, and it doesn't make any sense to build new stuff on top of bad stuff, and so just started tearing the whole thing down to replace it. And again, it's grandfathered in. I mean, it was that size prior. It was built before there were any restrictions or whatever. It was somehow, it's been there for
And
longer
then
than any of us have lived here. Probably.
so naturally he has, you got piers here for 6x6s, and he already had piers here for 6x6s for the existing house that was on the boat cover that was up. So, so we're stuck with 50 feet rather than 40. And Kent and I, we talked about this, and we said that we need to change our ruling from 30 by 40
Made to discuss that.
to possibly changing it to 120,
1,200
square feet versus
Because we
that,
talk
because,
about, we have limits for homes like in square feet. We have limits for closets in your boathouse. They're in
yes,
square feet, and we always talked about square feet, 1,200 square feet at this meeting. But when I look through the manual, it actually says 30 by 40. So that's something we're not going to address tonight.
Yeah.
That's something I do think we need to address in the future.
but it is something that, since it was grandfathered in as 50 by 20 and we okayed this extension going out, I'm saying that we need to, I want to make a motion to approve it, given that it's going to need a board approval.
Did you apply to put the extension on?
For what?
Did you get a permit to extend the boat cover
From Jefferson County?
from the county?
Yeah.
And you've gotten that, it was approved? You're
They're,
waiting?
they got to provide, the builder's got to provide one more drawing, and then it'd be approved.
Well, the long and the short of it is, it's 50 by 20 with another 6 feet by 20, which makes it 1,120 square feet. However, the
However,
overhang,
we were looking at it, and the problem that we saw was that the trusses that we got, or that Mr. Scott got, was a 2-foot overhang.
so are you planning on a 2-foot overhang over the,
Well, the overhang is just for water spill off the edges.
Yes.
so is the length and the width of your boat cover going to be 50 by 20 or 54 by 24?
That's the,
Okay, so they took a foot off the one end. It was 49 feet long.
And then there's a 2-foot overhang on beyond that?
Yeah, there's a 2-foot overhang all the way around the whole boathouse.
so that was,
And that's what was there before. All we did is add new trusses.
well, that was the thing, we have no way of knowing if it had a 2-foot overhang on the original boathouse or not,
Go
because
look at the
it's
trusses,
no
they're still
longer
sitting
there.
there.
I'm sorry, what?
The old trusses are still sitting there.
The old trusses?
So-
Oh, those are the old ones, those are the new, oh, you're gonna reuse the same trusses?
I got the old ones sitting there. I was gonna put them up, and builder talking, oh, why don't you put new ones in too? So, all right.
I think he has both.
I got the new ones there. The new ones are under a tarp, and the old ones are sitting there.
Oh.
And it's got the
So
overhang.
these are the same size as the previous
Yeah,
boat
they're
cover?
everything exactly the same
Okay.
except for the.
Okay, except for that one section,
Yeah.
okay. So in other words, then, his boathouse, boat cover, was actually instead of being 50 feet long, it was actually probably 54 feet long with a 2-foot overhang on both sides, I'm guessing, you know, but neither,
But you're
the
taking the,
whole thing is that this thing was torn down, it is being rebuilt, we can't,
and I
you know,
think
we don't want them to.
it adds value to the property, it adds value to our community. I mean, it's much better than having that rotted one that was there before. And it's grandfathered in, and if he was to rebuild it exactly, he's adding 6 feet. So, I mean, these are all good things. However, he's now not only over 40 by 30, he's over 20 by 1,200 square
Yeah.
feet.
But like I said, you know, they okayed it before they had the restriction in there
I
apparently.
wasn't planning on rebuilding until everybody built the slip, we saw the post there. Then it was gonna come down. I didn't wanna come down on a new boat.
Or a person.
Yeah.
So I still say that I still would like to make a motion to approve this. One thing, Greg, is that I did not see anything on any of your drawings about a shed. On this, a closet, whatever you want to call it, you know, and a closet has to be
It's the existing.
35 square feet.
Okay,
No
so
more than.
No more than 35 square feet.
It's the existing closet. I left the one wall up and I left 2 of the walls up because the tower already ran there. So I didn't want to take that down, so that's the existing shed on 2 sides.
Okay.
I told him to tear the rest of it down. You can take a look at it and see.
I'll come on over and take a look at it and see what takes some measurements off that makes, because I know that, I didn't realize that when we spoke, you know, but,
Only thing changing is the extension and one more thing, the posts are taller. And the reason being is I went, I think it's,
for the boat to get in,
yeah, I could bring the boat in with the top up.
yeah. Which is something that I didn't think about when I bought my boat. You couldn't be that close, man, it was like, holy shit, man, you know,
Yeah.
so anyway,
And it's nice to have a garage.
Yeah. so I have,
I mean, basically, we need a motion to approve this boat cover, which is larger than permitted, however, grandfathered in. We did permit the extension of the boat slip, so I think we need the boat cover. But it's going to be a variance, so it's going to require the board to approve as well. So I'll make a motion that we approve Mr. Scott's reconstruction and extension of his boathouse. I don't want to say the exact square feet, which exceeds the current restrictions, yet grandfathered in, and is adding not only to the value of his home, but the value of the community.
and I will second that.
It's
Did I say too many words?
It's a much nicer,
I'm sorry,
it's a nicer construction. The original, the beams underneath were from post to post, so they were kind of all cockeyed. They put land beams up the length of it. So it's gonna be smoother, it's gonna last longer, it's gonna look better,
yeah.
it's gonna be more stable.
You got that down?
I got it.
Okay.
Second? Okay. Those in favor? Any other discussion? Any? Yes?
I had a question, but the original dimensions of 40 by 30 are from the tip of the joist to the tip of the joist, correct? Including the overhang?
It's supposed to be including the overhead. Yeah, 30 by 40 is supposed to be, and we're going to discuss that to see if we can make it 1,200 square feet instead of 30 by 40. But it seems like most people want them 30 by 40.
I'm not sure why, I mean, that was, dates
The
back
only
to,
question, if you use a square foot, you could have, it instead of 40 by 30, you could have 45 by, different. Your square footage would be the same, but your overall dimension is going to be all messed up.
yeah, I don't know if they did that because they were worried that maybe somebody would block too much lake view or what. So I don't think it's a discussion for tonight. 40 by 30 versus 1,200 square feet. I think
Yeah.
that's something, as we go through the manual review, that's a good thing for us to discuss and not take up the time of the community.
Yeah, because like Ken said, we're gonna be going through the manual
But
section by section when that one comes up. I think that's something that we'll have to
If
discuss.
you own two lots, are you allowed to have two boathouses? Or can you
Yes.
have just one bigger boathouse or one lot?
no, you can
No.
have two boathouses.
But you can't change it unless you change the covenant. It's in the covenant, the dimension, and covenant.
It's dimensions or square feet?
And no, Ken, you can't have two boathouses on
If the lots aren't
one lot.
connected, if you don't,
Oh, if you're not connected,
if you don't go to the county and put them as one lot,
yeah.
I mean, you could own one and I could own one, or you could own one and Joan could own one, my wife and I could
Yeah.
own, each own one, and we could each have a boathouse.
Well, I got the
If
same
you-
thing,
If you joined the lots, then I think you could only have one.
one lot, correct.
See, I'm combining the two lots together, but I would think you'd have more square footage on the waterfront, you have the bigger boathouse.
I don't think that's the way.
I think it makes more sense.
I'm sorry.
I think it makes more sense.
Yeah, I don't think that's, well, I think, I mean, given the fact that your boathouse was already that size,
Yeah, that was on
I
one
think it'll
lot.
get grandfathered, I'm sorry?
That was only on one lot, that boathouse.
Yeah. Given that it was grandfathered in, that it was rotted and that you got the boat slip extension, I mean, we'll take it to the board and I would urge you to be present to the board meeting just like tonight.
And I just got a notice, it's gonna be on Friday instead of Monday.
It will be next Friday instead of next Monday.
Yeah, they're holding it
Unless
off
somehow
for
they-
us to get back.
Right.
One day,
Yeah.
Why are you going out
I'll
of
watch
town?
back.
I play soccer every Friday.
Well, you could wait
That's the
another
only time I
month.
get to kick someone.
So, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? None? Okay. Are you good with that, Mr. Lyon?
What?
Are you good with this?
Yeah, I'm
Okay, all right.
I got Nathan Hoffman, is that who you want to go with?
Yeah, they're in the order that they got submitted or entered.
I don't know what this one is, I can't remember. Oh, I do know this one. This is a house that the Hoffmans are talking about building on
No, this is
Lake Crest.
This is a new home.
It's a new home. Let me get to the,
Is Mr. Hoffman, is someone from the Hoffman? Or your
I'm Nathan.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course.
so on the application, it says it's gonna be 1811 square footage. And it's on Lake Crest. And here is the plot plan, I guess, more or less. You can, so this is, I don't, 1,800, and you're still gonna be 63 feet from,
It's a double lot. It was
Did you buy two
149 and
lots?
it
150.
is a double lot, okay,
It
because I
was.
bought, man, boy, this is.
Was a
this is-
double lot.
Yeah, okay, so it's a double lot, so he doesn't need any type of,
Consolidated lot.
variance of any kind. You can see he's well within his, both setback lines and all the building lines. And it's got, like I said, 1,800 square feet is the,
I think
1811.
or something like that. yeah.
And,
Is that on the main floor? Main floor is 18?
well, it's a ranch.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
1,800 on 1811 on, it's in a ranch.
Correct.
So we're fine there, and I mean, I can just kind of scroll through this thing here real fast, and
I mean, the entire building plan is in there.
you know, there's the elevations. Backside, they're gonna put a little deck on and all the knickknacks and everything. And like I said, then it's a double lot, so there's no problem with any variances or anything like that, and fits everything, so I can make a motion to accept this
I got
project.
a question, Ken. On the lower level, that you see from the back side of it, is that living area back there included in the 1811?
Is some of the basement finished?
It's an unfinished basement
Unfinished. So
with bathrooms.
So the footprint is 1,811 square foot.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Did that answer your question, Ken?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I'll second Ken's motion.
So you talk about the bottom side of this, that picture, the bottom side, it's gonna be finished off a little bit?
It's unfinished with a bathroom.
You'll finish it later. All right?
That's
There
where
you go.
We all finish them later.
Yeah.
Or not,
Yeah.
concrete's a finish.
Yeah.
As long as you got the roughing plumbing there, you're good to go.
Yeah, I did too.
Any discussion? No? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And who wants to be the inspector? Who should be the inspector?
That's on Lake Crest, that's,
What's that?
Dave Getty, what's
You wanna
the
pick up-
inspector on that?
You want to take on one of the guys that's not here?
I looked up on Dave.
It's not a race board.
Getty and Jordan aren't here, so can we back up and say pending board approval, you'll be the inspector?
I will be the inspector on Greg Scott's thing,
Good,
pending board approval.
thank you.
You know, Lake Crest is the other side of the world. No, Mr. Getty won't care. I know.
Hey, that's okay.
He lives over that way. He loves that kind of stuff.
Okay, next is Move-In Ready Homes is the name, it's not in there. The system, they don't care to assign a name to the file until it gets sold to a homeowner, so it's consistent from the get-go. So we're going to figure out something like when Will Build puts in a home or another builder puts in a home, we're going to have to come up with something there. I'm working with Tara and CPM to figure out what we'll do that, but for right now it's blank. So let's look at 9635 Duffer.
So are we talking spec?
Ken, I didn't catch what you were talking about there. What are you talking about? What-
So if you go back, X out of that, top right, and X out of that, top
Let's
right.
come back here.
right there, you'll see at the bottom where it says Nathan Hoffman and then there's nothing. This- the
Oh,
CPM
right here, there's
their
nothing
system-
here. Okay,
Their
I got you.
system makes it difficult to change a name at a later date, which they're gonna have to do, I would think, whenever a home gets sold, I don't know, but I'm just told that it's a problem, and so it's move-in ready homes.
So what you're saying is moving ready homes could be written right
He's
there.
gonna
but-
build it, right,
Okay.
but we didn't put a name in there. We're trying to figure out how we can do that and still be able to change it to the person's name, but then the bookkeeping and especially the financials, et cetera. I don't know if the home is sold or not,
Not yet, no.
so yes, it's a spec home. And you can see that it's a home that I think was built before.
Yes, a similar plan, we made some modifications to it, but yeah.
We don't have any objections to spec homes, do we? I mean, it's nothing in our rules that says we can't.
You know, someone said that you can't build spec homes here, but it's been going on for years and years and years. And I looked through the bylaws and the covenants and we searched them. I didn't find anything. Somebody also told me split levels, and I didn't find
It's
anything.
in the motions in the book and the
Oh, for split levels?
split level.
Okay. I'm not aware of any, I know that several
We
builders.
passed that about 6 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
So
Get that.
the only thing that I know of with the spec homes is that they always said, you know, that we don't like a bunch of, you know, they don't want people buying up a whole street.
They have to
just
be
building
4
up
homes apart. You can't have the
Four
same.
homes apart, so that's,
4 homes
you
apart.
found 4 homes apart?
That's what I found it.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah, that's in the covenant.
I did a lot of reading when it was snowing out. No, I didn't read much.
There you go.
But anyway, I don't know if anybody had a chance to observe, to look over this. I mean, the home, there's a plot plan, et cetera. Here's the thing, the home, if you look at the,
Let me find it, I'll find it.
You go all the way to the top.
Here we go. This is the one that we're, so you can see that the house, the proposed house, it encroaches our 10-foot setback on both sides.
The length of the
The
home.
length of the house, which on this side it says 7.42, and this one's 7 foot 19.19, which is 3 foot in one direction and 3 foot in the other direction, the entire length of the house, which is something that we don't really, I mean, we allow variances for a little corner if it's over, or if it's something that, for an irregular shaped lot, and this and that. I know, like on my house, I had to take the house and actually tip it like 4 degrees or something like that to be able to get it to fit in, to go down to one line. And even at that, my one little corner came out, I don't know, 3 feet or something like that. And you know, when I got my variance. But
This has to go to the
this
board-
is,
This has to go to the board too, then.
this would have to go to the board if you wanted to go ahead and approve it and send it to the board for a variance that runs the entire length of the house, rather than just a little, you know, to an irregular shaped lot, which is what we've always said, you know, that will allow a variance for beyond the 10-foot lot line if it's an irregular shaped lot. And that's really the only time that we've really ever done it, you know, it's
It's
really
a new
that,
build.
and it's just, and it would be just, you know, like I said, a corner or something like that, you know, because the lot pie shaped in or something like that, and that's,
I personally think if it's approved, you set the precedent.
Well, that's my concern.
yeah, well, that is the concern, yes, and Mayor Lou, exactly, yeah, I know that, and,
This is not adding on to an existing structure, this is a,
you know, and it's, no, I don't even want to approve this thing on a committee to send it to the board, because I don't want to put the board under the gun either,
Okay.
you know,
And-
myself.
and one of the owners of the company is here, and she's aware that this was going to be an issue, but
Yes.
I told her she could come and address the committee. But I've shared with you my concerns
You
about
did.
it getting through committee or through the board, because, I mean, I'm just afraid all the other people that we've told no are going to come to us and say,
There
what's
was a
the
big
deal?
argument about that, they were back, because Hillsborough approved 6.5, and there were some builders on the board that approved a couple of houses with 6.5 feet side.
So, yes,
That was
so
a
if-
very bad time.
I think I've only heard of one that got approved, and there's still some people upset about that, and it hasn't happened again since then.
Yeah,
So,
please.
no, I was just gonna say, so, one thing with this house plan was that we designed it in order for that, the whole problem with the variance is the garage. The garage is really what pushes us over that extra 6 feet. And the garage was actually designed to hold a boat. And that was taken into consideration for the rain tree community. Can't have like over a 24-foot boat. So the garage is actually designed to store a boat to where it avoids it from being parked in the driveway on the side of the home. You know, it's a huge golf cart community. And to be honest with you, we wouldn't have even designed it like this, but whenever BFA had pulled, I guess, your subdivision plat, it didn't show the side setbacks, so he went by the county setbacks, which were the 6 foot. I did take the site plan down to the county, and they did basically pre-approve the site plan because it is within it's 7-something feet. So it's the garage that's giving us the problems. It's not really the length of the house. It's just that extra space to fit a boat in, which we specifically designed that for a buyer for the rain tree community. So you give up something.
So what you're saying that if you would make this into, like you're showing right here, that it's a 3-car garage, if you would show it as a 2-car garage, you wouldn't have a problem.
Correct. So we were just trying to have that extra, I guess, perk of being able to store your boat in there because it's not a lake view, it's actually a golf view. So in order to keep any boats or golf carts or whatever off the driveway or the side of the house, it's just that garage. It's not, and really it's kind of just that front part of it, to be honest with you, that's like giving us the issues.
So, I know that you've got the next project coming up too. You know, you got 2 of them coming up. And is that other house the same as
Same
this
house,
one?
yes.
It's the same
Same
identical house?
Same house, we would do totally different outside, so you'd never even, and it's on different streets, so it's not like it's gonna be, 2 totally different, 2 houses identical next to each other. It would be, it's on a different street. It would have, the only thing that would change on the plan is the exterior, and that would be, the stone would stay, it would be a different color. The batten would be a different color, the siding would be a different color than this house, but yes, it would be the same plan on both lots.
I for one appreciate you considering that it's a boating community and there might be a spot for a boat, but I don't think that we can, I can't support this because we would be setting a precedence that with it will haunt us forever and ever. Nonetheless, the people who we've told no to are going to come back to us and say, you mean all I had to do was say I was going to store a boat in my garage? So I don't know how anybody else feels about it. I know that the county they have their own such a rule, and we have different guidelines in some things. I explained that to you previously, and we're going through our manual to see where there are differences. I'm not going to call them discrepancies, differences, and see where it makes sense that they are and where it makes sense that we leave them separately. But I think given that this is not an irregularly shaped lot and this is a new build, we would be wrong I would not feel comfortable supporting it. I'm not going to speak for the committee. I don't know if anyone else feels differently.
No, I feel the same way, Ken, because I was on the board a long time ago, and given that we haven't okayed anything like this before, it's, unless it was, like I said, an irregular shaped lot, where we could just give
Put a corner of a house.
a corner of a house or something like that. They're all for that. And even on the back side of the house, they'll say, well, you're not encroaching on this person or that person. Yes, you're encroaching on the person behind you, but there's such a buffer zone between there that we might give you know, a little bit there, you know, but, the
I think
entire
if you
length of the
could-
house, no.
You could convert it to a golf cart garage,
Mm.
you know, move it in some. I don't know the numbers, but I suspect we sell as many golf cart stickers as we do boat stickers,
Every bit of it.
if not more. And a boat, I mean, the ability to park a golf cart inside might be more attractive even than a boat. So,
And so it's either, or you can do what I would love you to do, is be buy the lot next door to you.
That's what I do.
You know, because, you know, it just.
You know, believe it or not, I've been trying to reach out to the person that owns the lot next to Duffer, is apparently lives in Las Vegas. I think he's like different orientation. I don't know, I've reached out to him like a million times on Facebook. I'm like, how can I get a hold of you? I don't even think he ever reads it.
Yeah.
But that's the only,
That
I mean,
would make
unless
it-
there's a
I
contact
think that would
number
make it more
that I could
attractive
be.
to a buyer as well, if you had
Oh,
a.
I would love to, like I said, like, but I don't have like an actual phone number or
Have you
contact
gone to the
number.
county to make sure it's up to date tax wise?
It is, I've checked, yes.
I was gonna say,
I've checked.
I think the office might even be able to give you a contact number, I'm not too sure, you know, if they could.
I mean,
I don't
it shows
think
the
you
guy
can do that.
lives in Vegas, I'm like, he's
I don't think they
probably
can
bought
do
it,
that.
never looks at it.
I don't think you get that information out, but we could probably try to contact them and say, hey,
Yeah,
there's someone looking to buy your lot.
but, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't even wanna send this to the board myself, you know, I mean, I kinda, you know, I'm with you, you know, I know Kurt pretty much the same, you
Yeah.
wouldn't go for this.
So
It's
if
just
I
because-
condense the garage, you know, make
If you
it,
could-
push it in, or if I can take off the 6 feet, it may end up just going down to a 2-car. Not super excited about that.
Then-
but, like, is there any other issues other than that?
Then I believe that you're all in. You know, I believe so, but let's take another
It
look.
would still need to come back to this committee. and-
Yeah, you would still have to bring it back here, you know, naturally, but
But if it doesn't require variance, it wouldn't have to go to the board.
no, it wouldn't even have to go to the board. But if you would be able to, you know, I mean, what you're talking about basically is 3 foot here, 3 foot here. So, I mean, you're talking about just shrinking it 6 feet. So if you can shrink it 6 feet and get it inside the boundary lines on both sides, you're gold, you know. And you're planning on doing the same one on Moonshine.
Yes.
And you have the kind of the same problem over on Moonshine as
Correct.
well.
And, you know, I'll be back here in a few months anyways, because we have a lot on Peachtree, but it's a corner lot. So I did not know until they went to like set the house, because we had a ranch picked out for that,
Mm-hmm.
that since it's a corner lot, that it's like, what is it, like 25, 27 from the front and the side, so the house is like pushed out to the corner, which looks a little ridiculous, and I have to find a house that's gonna be under like 59 foot length, so.
Yeah, corner lots have got to be, quite honestly, I haven't been on the committee where we've seen a corner lot, so I would imagine a corner lot's going to be very challenging. You would know more than anybody, Kurt, as far as a corner lot goes out. Do they do a 25 foot back on that side and 25 foot setback on this one?
But I actually have a photo,
And
you know, I mean,
That's
my,
got to be crazy.
No,
Do they make them big? Do they make corner lots bigger to allow that?
so, and the
no,
problem
no, but
is that this is
you
actually,
can't put a fence up,
Okay.
on the street.
you mind if I take this picture? So this is actually this is just a screenshot from my survey, but so the lot is shaped like this. Okay, so here's the street, here's the street. So the setbacks are all the way back here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically in the corner.
Mhm.
So, with
Nope.
this lot, would there be any
I think
likely of a chance to have a little bit of a variance on this one? And as long as it, from what I'm told by planning and zoning, because these are actually the county
Yeah,
setbacks.
we decided we.
So if they were like, I'd recommend before you take to planning and zoning with the county, to get some sort of approval, because my problem is that I have 59 feet to build from side to side, not knowing that there was such crazy setbacks on the left side or the right side of the home. Since it's both street, you have to go by the,
Yeah,
So
I
Kurt,
will,
I'm going to ask Kurt, because he's.
I will tell you that they, my knowledge is that I know for a fact that they've never allowed any front setback from 25 foot.
no, I'm not worried about the front.
Yeah.
Because the front, I was actually pushing this house back to the 30. It's the side, because the side is still considered the front.
Mhm.
And so it's actually 27 feet from the street to this. So it's, so I actually lose like all of this right here, because here's the actual street. So it's right past the 25.
So does it have to be 25 from both roads?
Is there a lot next door that's empty?
No, this, unfortunately not. This was not one of those.
Yeah, I don't,
Well,
if it has to be 25 from both roads,
Well, there's a corner.
I can't say anything without seeing something, actual,
is it
Built
25?
at the same time when we were building our house. But we're on a corner, we're on a double lot, so we're okay.
That's right, Mary Lou lives on a corner, but you're on a double lot.
But the
Okay.
people across the street, when that house was built, and they're 25, and then they had to be so far back from the golf course because they're on the 18th hole, or 18th green.
Yeah, I know the house that you're talking about. Well, anyway,
I don't know, I'm not going to tell you one way or another, but it doesn't sound like, it sounds like that's going to be a challenge to put a house on a corner lot like that.
that big, you'd have to, and then once again, it's one of those deals where, if they came in, like, what's our square footage on a house, 1,500? 1550. So, like if you came in with a 1550 and it didn't fit in there, well then they would have to give you a variance. They would have to find some which way, because every lot's gotta be buildable. But then all of a sudden somebody comes in and they say they want to put in an 1800, and the house can, the lot can only support a 1500. Then, then that's where the problem starts to arise.
Horace,
Go
you
ahead.
probably know more about this than anybody, or certainly more than I do. Do we table this discussion, or does she remove I'm not sure how you approach something like this.
I think we.
It doesn't even get a motion.
Well,
Or I should ask
a
you,
decision. And so
What?
what I've already written down is that you made a motion to deny this project
And-
based on the issue that you
And
seconded it.
I seconded it, and
So let's
we
vote on
voted
it.
on that, and it's been
It passed.
denied.
So it's denied.
all right,
And then what I've done is basically say on the next project, the same discussion.
It's the same thing, because it's gonna be the same issue, as with this. Now, I can say that you can go directly to the board and see if you can
Appeal.
override and appeal us, but they're not gonna say.
can we vote on this one? Do we
Yes,
need to
please.
vote
On this,
on a motion to
I think we should, just so the record is clear.
Yes.
All in
Okay.
Because it's
favor?
here,
yeah.
aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
And
Okay.
then,
Now, can we look at the other one?
Just briefly,
Let's do it correct.
correct.
So if I can have the plans back maybe a week, 2 weeks, when can I resubmit to get going? It's basically, I'm
The
just
sooner you
taking
get,
the,
yeah, the sooner you get the plans to us, the better. We'll have another our meetings are the first Tuesday of each month. So it'll be February.
basically 3 weeks.
Yeah. But it'll be 3 weeks from now, because this one was pushed back.
But this is the
February
plan.
4th.
This is the plans that are for Moonshine, which is the same project, and we said that it's the same type of deal, and you can see, it's 7.05 here and 6.9, rather than the 10-foot slab. So it's the same issue, and it's the entire length of the house. So, it's basically the same thing. So, we're gonna reject, well, I would make a motion to deny this project too, for the same reasons that was discussed on the last project.
Second, any discussions? Those in favor?
Yeah, it's still open, can we just be amended or resubmitted? Yeah.
Okay.
I would think, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because everything's here, we just need different plans, so it's
Yeah.
not like it's dead, it's not like.
we would
go
need
back
a
to square
different
one.
plot plan and a
Right.
different set of plans.
Yes.
Basically, if you
The
can come in with a
application,
two-car
everything's here.
garage, as much as I would love to have a three-car garage, because I'm with you, you know, you'd love to see these boats get off the street and golf carts not be parked out in front of people's houses with tarps over them right now with snow on top of them, you know, because they didn't build a three-car garage. I'm all for three-car garages, but
Or ask them if they can send a message to the owner of that lot. I mean, if you could get the lot,
Next to it.
do both of them have an empty lot next to them?
I believe.
She's at the corner of it.
Contact Jefferson County.
What?
You can contact Jefferson County to see who paid the taxes on.
So I have that information, I just don't have it. I mean, I looked them up, couldn't really find anything, was kind of good, and I found them on Facebook, but it's just like. But
Oh, go ahead, no.
No.
I walked in late and you guys were talking about garages and that's what I was gonna bring up. I apologize for getting here late. So are you saying that you can't have a three-car garage added on?
I have a three-car.
I got a three-car.
I have a
So
It doesn't meet the
You
setbacks
just
on the
gotta be able
side.
to
as
have,
long as it meets the setbacks and it's attached to the building?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or if you can have a detached, you know, garage even as well, you know, if you bought the lot right next to you, as long as there's a causeway going, connecting the two houses, you know, the car
Right.
garage to the other one.
yeah, I have a double lot, so,
Oh,
You won't
okay.
you shouldn't have any problem.
yeah, I shouldn't have any
Unless
problem.
So you're not gonna have any problems probably staying within, I don't think you're gonna have any problems staying within your setback line.
Yeah, I'm well with that, even with going with a 30 by 40, so, attaching it to the house. And you're shaking your head.
900 square feet, I think, is the
Okay.
limit.
So
900
would you
square feet is the
recommend maybe
limit?
reaching out to somebody at the office to see
Wait,
if?
one second, Ken? She's got a question.
So you do recommend maybe somebody at the office may be able to help me
They
get
would
in
say
contact
they
with
have the
the?
lot next
I don't know if we
to
can
the
give
garage.
you their information, but we
900
could
square
probably
feet,
give
30
them,
by 30.
and we could
Well, that's
try
what I
to
was
get, we could
told,
reach out to them and say,
Unless it
hey,
was attached to
there's
the
somebody
house. then I
interested in
wouldn't.
buying your
I
lot,
haven't seen
potentially
the
interested in
rules
buying
and
your
stuff.
lot, is it for sale? or-
That's what I
I
was
don't
Or we,
saying.
if you,
That's what I
if
was
it's okay
saying.
with you, we could maybe give them your information.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be great with that.
I don't think the office opens till noon tomorrow, but if you come up and talk to Haley,
Okay.
she would,
I think tomorrow's 3 o'clock.
Assessors might have an address where they send his
yeah, I
tax.
think it opens at noon.
Or I think it's 3.
You might try the assessor's office, they probably send his tax bills to a different address.
Okay.
Sure.
another quick question, how do I find out what type of building I can add on? Can it be a Morton building, a metal building, or does it have to match my existing house?
Yes.
Just a match.
All the way around, or just the front?
All the way.
All the way around, and if it, are you talking about putting up a shed, or are you talking about
A garage.
adding to your
A garage,
detached garage?
No, attached garage,
It has to be of
Okay.
similar material, make and material.
on all four sides.
all four sides, correct.
It's attached.
Well, three sides, if one side.
Well, yeah, eventually it would be three, yeah. And it would have to, so my house is the stucco house, I'm the Florida looking, I'm on Easy Street, so I would have to match that stucco siding,
The roof too.
And the roof.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I can still do a steel frame structure on the inside, or is that county?
As far as I'm concerned, you can do steel structure, but that would be up to the county. You're gonna have to go to the county.
Correct.
And get permits, so
Correct.
I don't know what the county,
Is gonna allow me to do, right?
yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, I just didn't know if there was a way I could research the rules, and I know the setbacks, what I've read, you know, very vaguely, so I'm good with the setbacks.
Yeah,
Okay.
but thanks for coming up for and asking, you know, yeah.
Are we good with motions? and
I think we're good, we're ready to move on to the next one.
And
We don't have any more.
we don't have any more
Wait,
projects.
well, we're not done, we're far.
We're not done.
Is there someone, is Mr. or Mrs. Martin here by chance? This is one that I thought got put into the computer and it didn't. It's for a new deck, a deck replacement. Their proposed construction beginning is late February. Do you guys want to look at it, or do you want me to get it into the computer and look at it on early February? That's what I would prefer to do.
Yeah, let's do that.
You can just go on your cell phone.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, if you get it in the computer, like,
Instead of pass.
you know, I can,
Yeah.
we can look at it ahead of
February
time.
3rd will be
It's
one
nice when
time.
everybody comes prepared.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's the only improvements. Now, so I put a few things under miscellaneous business. The first one is silt fence requirements, and I was trying to find out what silt fence. Let me back up. I was the chair of Lakes and Beaches prior to this committee, and we had Mike Cook from the Stormwater Control Division from the county come, and he told us that we should have a silt fence on any construction done in this community, regardless of how far it is from the water. And I think that we need to come up with some kind of an example of allowable silt fences, and we need to make a rule, if you will, I'm not sure what the right term is for us, that says anytime the ground is disrupted, not for a planter box, but maybe it needs to be square footage or something. You come up with something that says that anytime the ground is disrupted, because I don't care if you're 4 levels up from the water, when it rains, that mud eventually gets into our lakes, and our lakes are soaking in. And so we need to come up with something. I tried to find something from the county. The county, I don't know that they have any clear-cut recommendations. However, just today, or just yesterday, I got an email that the Stormwater Division is having a seminar on February 28th about stormwater reduction and flow, and so I think I'm going to attend that seminar unless any of you have any ideas what the county might have or how we can come up with silt fence. The county is more than happy to help us. They are as interested in code enforcement, meaning, hey, we don't want to see runoff either. And they said, you know, if our builders are non-compliant, then contact them and they will, in a heartbeat, be out here. And so I want to talk about what are allowable silt fences and what we need to do different from what's in our manual now to ensure that every time the ground is disrupted, or is there a minimum number of square footage or something so that the ground, if it's disrupted, we stop runoff. Does that make?
I wanted to add, that's a great point. I mean, in the construction world, typically whenever you break ground, you're putting silt, even if it's a flat lot. You know, it doesn't even matter if you got water around. So I understand it's a little bit of a cost, but in good hindsight, you should always use a silt fence.
We can show you examples of people that aren't doing it.
Yeah,
Builders
yeah.
that aren't doing it.
You know, even if you're doing a retaining wall, and most of these landscapers are awesome, they can get it knocked out in a day or two, but it's still, it's open ground.
I think we need to simplify the process, but
Yes.
come up with some kind of a guidelines, maybe I'll call them guidelines that say,
Well, this question is Scott on the boat slip, he's gonna break ground, and they're gonna be dirt going in the lake.
on boat slips, well, they have to have a coffer dam.
Yeah.
They're required to have a coffer dam, and we just,
I mean, he just enlarging in that, he can talk about, he doesn't really need a cover here.
you what?
You don't really, he just gonna go on back of the boat slip to make it deeper. And he's gonna,
No, he already did that. Are you talking about Mr. Scott?
yeah.
He already extended his boat slip, and he had a coffer dam to stop you had a coffer dam across the front of your boat slip to stop that. I'm talking about, you know, there's homes that are not on the water and they're not using silt fences, and we need to come up with some very simple but effective guidelines. Do you have something in the book, Denny?
Yeah, As far as like on the lake fronts,
Yeah, I think,
you have to have some type of a barrier to stop the erosion from going into the lake. Okay?
yeah, on the lakefront, but I think it needs to be on every
It does,
piece of
sure.
ground in this property.
We could we've got
We can
property.
find a model silt fence ordinance
Yeah.
pretty easily.
Well, I looked at the county,
Yeah, I
okay.
just Googled it. I mean, I'm looking.
Okay. You know, I'll tell you, I even had, I have a project on Dove Court, and it's way up there, Danny. You know,
Oh, yeah.
it's off of Forest Drive,
Yeah,
and they were complaining that when it rained, it ran down, got into a creek bed, and moved its way down, and it made it all the way down.
Roads,
and
it
it was
clogs
just-
drains, it does all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
So I think we need to have something, so as we review the book, when we get to silt fences, we'll bring that up. The other thing is, I'd like to come, permitting process, I can't tell you how many people have told me that the county told them to come get approval here first. Or I've had people say, well, I was told that I couldn't submit plans until I got county approval. You know, they're two parallel, related,
Yes, but
but
here's-
not interdependent processes. And we have different guidelines, different requirements, and so they're two completely separate things. I want to know where people are getting this idea that they have to go to one before the other. Did you hear that?
Well, no, but for example, I can't because if you don't approve the house plans I have, I don't want to have to pay for revisions with the county
Sure.
to send in a new plan. So, I mean, as a builder, I mean, it's smart to start with the HOA
makes
because if you're not going to approve my plans, then I'm going to have to.
What's that cost for you to write to the county?
I think a revision, if it's a simple revision, maybe $200 to $500.
What's
but-
the original submission cost?
You know, it depends on the square footage, I believe.
Okay.
So it depends on what you're building and how big.
So you came to us first.
I did.
I did.
Good,
I
yeah.
think that's.
You didn't give me good news, but I came to you first.
There's no good here.
So I'm gonna tell people, I'm gonna suggest to people they come here first because, but it's not a requirement, because some people are anxious to get started. And if you remember, we approved a house a couple of months ago and they told us the same thing, that they were told by the county that they couldn't get approval from the county until they got it here. And they don't look at our approvals and we don't look at their approvals.
Well, Kent, that makes sense because like I said, our restrictions are a little bit tighter on some things than Jefferson County, but
Let's say they're
not
different
all.
on some things, but not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we're going through the manual to
Yeah.
kind of
Trying to
make sure
find
that
out
we
where
align.
we're.
And then the inspector protocol, I looked through the inspector protocol, I think we really need to take some time to say exactly what if you're assigned an inspection, this is exactly the order you need to do it in. That would help. I also want to talk about payment for inspectors. And again, we can talk about this at a later date, but it seems hard to me to pay a volunteer. I mean, doesn't that seem a little counterintuitive?
No.
You're volunteering for this position, but we're going to pay you. I know this came about a long time ago and people were getting paid a nominal fee, but they were getting paid because it took a bunch of their time. I don't know.
Well, then don't volunteer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, you know, we've got a whole page on inspector
Jack
procedures.
Rager.
Thank you guys for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kurt, what was it?
By the time we did
That's
that.
great.
a long time.
Started.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd like to see it busted down. I looked through that, and there's a couple of them actually, and I'd like to break it down into a timeline. These are just things I'd like you guys to be thinking about as we get moving through the manual. And then, you know, we have the, yes, sir?
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just
No,
wanted
you-
to say that on the stormwater, I've been a builder, just recently retired finally after 38 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're gonna get bored, but.
Yes.
No, you're not gonna get bored.
I was bored stiff the first year, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
I've been nervous, not wondering when the checks are gonna start coming. So, but there is a plan. It's called a stormwater protection plan. And as a commercial builder on many sites, your surveyors, Archer, Elgin, whoever has a plan, and that plan usually included when you have a certain amount of rainfall, over a quarter of an inch, you had to record it. You have to go out and check your silt fence, maintain it, if you had holding ponds, you had to go around and do all those things. So I can make a phone call, and you'll find a plan that's well-written. I got that every time I started a new project.
And you call that the
You're so
It's
lucky.
called
protection
SWIP.
plan?
They call it SWIP, SWPP.
That's all right.
Okay.
That's all right. It's
So-
still,
Yeah,
it's
that's,
still.
can I ask your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Tim Smith, and I live next to Mike Martin, who wasn't here for that plan.
Are you the one that has the turret in your house?
I'm the one who, I just put the sidewalk along the seawall.
Yeah.
You saw the straw road.
Yeah.
All the silt fence. I did my entire property like you're supposed to, because I'm used to doing that in my commercial work. But it's called SWIP, SWPP, Stormwater Protection Plan. And you'll get a very detailed book. The EPA makes you use it, and a lot of the big cities, municipalities are they're very much onto it, because that water goes into fresh water and it causes issues. So
Right.
that's something to find. Also with Mike Martin, who bought the house next to mine when Louis passed away down there. I had told him he's the one wanting to build the deck. My recommendation to him is, it doesn't matter what the county says. If they approve something that doesn't fit per ACC and the guidelines of Raintree, you're putting the cart before the horse. The stringent things that the county cares about is they're looking at plumbing, the electrical,
Right.
all those major things. What we care about is the architectural
And the
committee,
location.
how it looks and sets on your property. And a comment on the setbacks. If there's nothing any more important than respecting your boundary lines of your neighbor and the lake. If you vary on that very much, then you have nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I think,
You really have nothing.
I think we did the right thing by saying.
I do too.
You know-
And I feel, I love the building processes, what I've done all my life, so I don't ever want to step on anybody's toes. But I think that was a very good point, because when you start eliminating variances and making so many of them,
Why have?
where does it stop? You mentioned it lets the horse out of the barn. Well, what about the variance? When I bought my house, it came with the Sea-Doo. There's no variance when that Sea-Doo dies that I get a new Sea-Doo.
No.
I've got to nurse that thing along, and I keep praying someday that something would happen, but until that 1998 Sea-Doo dies, there's no variance. I can't come up here and say, can I get a variance because I was grandfathered in?
I put the sticker on every Sea-Doo
Yes, sir, I
last
do.
year, and I will tell you, some of them look worse than I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does this thing
Say
run?
I would be glad to contact and get some information on that plan, so the committee can review that, use pieces and parts of it that you would maybe be able to use for the stormwater protection plan. But it's a good point. When you're even back 4 tiers, runoff water doesn't matter. It all runs downhill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything to the lake, and
I
so
just saw-
that's a very good.
And I just recently saw I don't know what you call it, the watershed, whatever thing. I mean, we get water from a huge area that goes into these lakes. And so every bit some we can't control, leaves, etc. But what we can't control, we have to.
Yes, correct. And if you know, and you guys are aware of it, because I had to got a permit to just redo my concrete.
Yep.
And
I'm sorry, what kind of permit?
I got a flat work permit just to replace bad existing concrete.
Right.
And, but if you notice, all of my sod in my entire property, remember, was taken out because of the lead abatement.
Oh.
Those guys, I didn't have to get on them. They put that rope, that straw rope around my entire waterfront, and I maintained that religiously the whole entire time when that was going. And I'm sure it was started in July when they started removing the soil. I know a lot of boaters came by, and I'm on a West Vista on the point right there. I call it Smith Point now, of course. But that is something that is very critical to do, and keeping the siltation out of. And plus, it makes neighbors mad when all your dirt runs over on
Onto
the
their grass and kills
Yes,
it.
sir.
Oh, yeah.
Ditch.
We've got, I got.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Two
well-
more
And
things.
you're a builder, or you were a builder?
Yes, for 38 years.
You know, if you would love to join the architect committee,
You guys
See, now you're not bored now.
you know, if you're bored, you know, we'd love to, we could always use inspectors and another voice up here too.
Thank
You
you.
know, so seriously,
Your knowledge and experience would.
yeah, it would be,
Put to good use.
we would love to have you,
Thank
you
you.
know, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Okay, two other things real quick, sorry, about, we're, in an attempt to make sure we have a check-off list, if you will, like the spreadsheet that we had for paper, I want to put something similar to that in Vantica. It won't look like that, but everything will be in here, and I wonder what are the most important things, what are the information that have to be in there? And I think having the location, meaning the lot and the section number, the actual street address, the owner, the contact information, maybe the builder, we can go over this for us, so.
One thing is very important, we have to make sure we have a surveyor's seal on the drawing. Because.
Right. But that won't get past us, that won't get, no, this is a spreadsheet so that we can
It's like
see
the
where we are on projects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think, what is the, I mean, we don't need to know.
There's deposits and refunds that are
I
shown.
don't think, that's all in QuickBooks, we don't need that stuff, that's,
Okay.
I think to make the spreadsheet down and dirty, we just need to have the information to contact maybe the homeowner and the builder, the location, the approval date, what the project is, it's not even on there, that this is a home or
But yeah, they did have that separated. So it says homes, and then down here is miscellaneous.
So I'd like to, everyone think about what other information we need on there. And then one last thing is, you know, should we come up with a timeline for completion of projects? We have some on there that are 2 and 3 years old.
So
They
it's
say,
supposed to
oh,
be 1 year, I thought.
Well,
well,
homes are supposed to be 9 months. From the
okay,
time
but
it's put to action.
what
to
happens
it's
when
groundbreaking.
what happens when it doesn't get done? Look on there. look at the dates.
Then they're supposed to come in and ask for an extension.
That's
Okay.
correct.
And then we grant them an extension, and that's
So
been standard procedures for
not
it.
because I'm money hungry or anything like that, but I think there should.
Come on.
I'm sure that someone will accuse us of saying, well, the POA just wants more money, but in an attempt to maybe facilitate things, should we say, look, you lose your deposit or some portion of your deposit if you don't have either a completion or an extension? Because there are projects that are on there from 2022, and I'm like, what are we waiting for? Oh, we're waiting for the builder to put a retaining wall around an electrical box.
Some of these are houses that started in 22.
Let's get this stuff off our book, let's get it done. And so, I don't know, and maybe, I'm just throwing things out there, I've just seen what'll stick to the wall, but there should be some type of an incentive to finish.
I know for.
I don't wanna have a disincentive to not finish, but what's the incentive for people to finish?
I know for, like with me, when we were building our house, our builder said, well, you know, I'll get it done in 9 months, and of course it was
They all-
14. You
They all-
know? And it was one of those deals where, at that particular time, they said, as long as we saw, workers
Hey.
there every day, still trying
You know
to
what?
finish things up, you know.
I've never had a
That-
single project get done on time, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But if they're working on it and they say, hey, there's a supply chain problem, or we couldn't get this, or this happened, but if you have a builder building so many houses that they're working 1 day a week or 1 day every other week
Yeah.
at
I
this
get
house
you.
and it's not getting done,
Yeah.
I think people.
But these builders, you think that they want to get them done though, too,
For
because
the refunds,
they,
they get their refunds.
I know.
They get it done.
and now that they want to get done and move on to the next project, too.
Yeah, but
you
a
know?
builder might be building how many houses at a time? Some of them are building a dozen or more houses.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know that,
Well,
some of them are probably very diligent about keeping up with their refunds and where their money is, but I can tell you, some of them are not.
yeah.
Because we have stuff that's on there that's over 2, now 3 years old, almost 3 years old. And, I would think a few $1,000 would mean something, but I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff against the wall to see what'll stick. If I'm way out of line, that,
You could
that's,
have two tiers.
Well, that would be-
It can't, if they're not finished and they don't come in for an extension, then there's an additional whatever, and you don't get any part of the additional refund.
That's a possibility.
we could think of, I mean, I'm just.
Well, that's one of those deals where if I'm an inspector, I want to get it off my little list, too, you know, so I mean, I know when I was the inspector for Forrest's house, I couldn't wait for his house to be
Some of
done.
this would have to go through a company.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
slow.
Some of it would have to go through a company. To do all these deposits and all that's through the companies,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing things out there. I mean, when
That
I
means
look at
everybody
this,
has to vote on it.
when I look at this list and I see that there's projects that are 2 and 3 years old, I'm like, why?
Yeah, you sure do.
I mean,
What do you think?
All right, motion to adjourn.
Wait, Jim hasn't said a word.
Jim, you got a thought?
Will you move to adjourn or second or something?
Oh, Jim making a motion to adjourn.
Is the club open?
I think it is.
Oh, I'll second it.
All right, those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion
Hey,
carries.
Kat, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yes, sir.
After this is over with?
Show me something.